Hello, Leos. This is Karen, the Forest Empress, and I am here with your May 1st through 15th tarot card reading. I will also be pulling a Fairy Messages Oracle card as well as a Power Animal Oracle card to tie your whole reading together at the end. Before I start the reading, I just would like to say thank you for all the likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. I read all the comments, and I've just been overwhelmed with the love that I've been receiving from everyone. And I try to reply to them as best I can, or at least like them. And so I just wanted to say thank you for that, because I really do appreciate it. If you're interested in learning more about me, I do have an introductory video on my channel now, which tells you a little bit about me and then kind of what I do for a living besides tarot card readings, and that is actually write books. So I have 4 books out. If you're interested in learning about them, you can watch that introductory video. At the end of this video, I will also just be showing you one of the books, so if that seems like something that's interesting to you, you can explore that further with that extra introductory video. Let's get on to your reading. For the first 2 weeks of May, there's 3 cards for each week, so let's just dive right in. The first card we actually have for the first week of May is the Devil card, and don't get too freaked out by this. This just could mean that you have been overindulging a little bit. Maybe you're lusting after something that you want, or maybe you feel, maybe have the green eyes of greed over something, and that's totally normal. We're all human. We all have our egos, and that happens. So it also could mean that there is an obstacle in your life that it seems like there is no way to overcome it. And while it could be very difficult, you can get past it. It just means that you have to work around it. So time to get creative. And Leos are actually very creative people. You're a fire sign, so it shouldn't be anything that you can't handle. I think of Leos as very powerful people, so I would definitely kind of harness that energy if you feel like you're restricted in any way at the beginning of May. But it shouldn't last for too long. We do have another major arcana coming up as your second card in the first week of May, and that's Temperance in reverse. So I'll hold that up for you. You could be experiencing some competing interests with people around you. Maybe you feel competitive with someone. Maybe you're in a little bit of a quarrel or in a little bit of a tiffy with somebody in the first week of May. But whatever unfortunate events you may come across, maybe you stumble upon some corruption that upsets you, or maybe there's some strife in your domestic life. But no matter, and it could be relating to the Devil card, these two, seem to be very similar in their messages, whether it's an upright Devil or a reversed Temperance. So I would not be too concerned about it, because the third card that you have coming up for the first week of May is a beautiful, wonderful card, and that is the 9 of Pentacles, and it is upright. So this means that, despite what could be going on that could be upsetting you, it could be in the back of your mind, it could be causing you a little mental strife, you are looking towards prosperity, and you're starting to see the fruits of your labor. And it's also saying that you've worked really, really hard recently, and maybe it's time to take a little break and relax because you've earned it, and you can see that the fruits are coming. And especially in this beginning of springtime here, you might want to actually reward yourself. And especially in the midst of all this, if something is going on that's bothering you, then it's good to look inwardly and, think about what is good and what you have achieved in your life and reward yourself for those good things. But be careful not to overindulge. There's a difference between treating yourself and overindulging, so you have to figure out where that line is so you can draw the line, because there are wonderful things coming for you in the future, and you just have to kind of stay, even with this Temperance card that has a lot to do with patience too, you just have to stay kind of patient. It's hard for Leos. I know my daughter's a Leo, and it can be hard for her too, but you're very persistent people and you are very successful people. So I would just keep this card in mind if anything seems to be troubling you in that first week. Maybe you should also spend time working in a garden. That's a great way to ground yourself and get back to nature. Spend some time in nature. Go take a walk. If you are feeling like everything is going crazy all around you, sometimes a change of scenery can help. So if you can get away, or if you can, sometimes something as simple as like rearranging your furniture in your house or doing some spring cleaning, that could be making the way for new things to come in. So that's something to consider in that first week of May. Second week of May, the first thing we have coming up is the Three of Cups in reverse. Watch out for promiscuity. It can be very tempting, especially if we have this temptation coming through in the first week. It could be carrying over to the second week, so be careful about being too promiscuous in your in your reactions to things. This can also mean that you have to maybe take a look at other people's feelings in terms of how they respond to you. Don't take those feelings for granted. You never know when people can end up helping you later. So try not to burn any bridges, even if it seems like people are upsetting or not giving you the attention or the accolades that you feel you deserve. Just keep in mind that everyone's coming from their different perspectives, and they may have noticed, and maybe they're jealous of you or something like that and can't be happy for you. And you just, in that case, just be happy for yourself, or surround yourself with people who are supportive and loving of you as you as a person and as an individual. And so, people who know you the best are the people who you should turn to for something like that. Second card we have coming up in the second week of April is the Page of Wands in reverse. There could be some delays or some unexpected, unfavorable news in a creative venture of yours, perhaps in work. But it's, it could give you problems focusing, or maybe this could be representing you having just trouble focusing in general. But don't let bad news bring you down, because you have the Nine of Pentacles here. You have everything at your fingertips for success. So, if you hear something negative, just don't take it personally and don't let it affect you. And I think that Leos are fully equipped to take that advice, because they're good at kind of brushing things off and, knowing their own self-worth. That's something that's very admirable about Leos. And then just, this also can be a card to kind of watch out for unfaithfulness. And that can not necessarily be in regards to a relationship. You only have one Cups card here. You have kind of a mixture of Major Arcana, Pentacles, and one Cup and Wands. So this probably could be more in regards to work. So just kind of watch out for people who maybe don't have your best interest at heart at work. And just, you don't have to be mean or vindictive or anything. Just, always keep keep an eye on that person and be aware of them, because you kind of just want to be aware of people's intentions, especially if it is going to directly affect you. And just knowing it can prevent a lot of things, or at least your reactions to things. The third card we have coming up in the second week of April is the Knight of Pentacles. You know your own expertise, and like I said earlier, you know your own self-worth. So don't let someone take control of where you know that you shine, is kind of what it's saying. Pay attention to your own priorities, and don't just be completely blinded by ambition that it takes over everything else. Try to, as much as you can, see the bigger picture. And if you are able to harness any type of Aquarian energy, if you have any Aquarian energy in your chart, I would take a look at that. Aquarius is actually the opposite of Leo too. So maybe look into seeing if you can harness that kind of energy, because Aquarians are great at looking at the bigger picture of things. And that seems to be what the advice is here with this reversed Knight of Pentacles. And then it also says, kind of as a final note, that your abilities to be good with money and to succeed financially are a very big strength of yours. So I would use that to your advantage, especially in regards to business. And that is what we have for the first 2 weeks of May. Let's pull a fairy message oracle card. And I just want to quickly explain the reason why this, for these 2 weeks, I'm using fairy oracle cards and animal oracle cards is because, like I said, I write books, and the fairies and animals tie into my books because my fantasy series has to deal with, it's like a enchanted forest where there are kingdoms of magical beings and animals that live harmoniously, for the most part, within this enchanted forest. And so we do have fairies and animals, as well as nymphs and trolls and gnomes and things like that. And so that's why we're doing fairies, and that's why we're doing animals. So let's see what the fairies have to say for you, beautiful Leos. Okay, so this does kind of go along with what we looked at with our tarot cards. This is the card of walking away. So if something is no longer serving you, it is time to say goodbye, to be out with the old and in with the new. leave the unhealthy situation and enjoy the new doors that open as a result. You will be very surprised by what will come through once you kind of eliminate that waste from your life or those things that are no longer bringing you your greatest and highest good. Let's see what animal we have that is going to be bringing strength and insight into our first 2 weeks of May for Leos. So this is the Rabbit, which is an interesting card that we got, but we also did get this Nine of Pentacles, which does tie into this a little bit. It's about fertility. It says your creativity is at its peak. So whatever little chatter is going on in the background, just put your head down and do what you are here to do and do what you know that you are good at. And I'm sure there are lots of things that you know, each individual here that's watching is good at. And so I would focus on those things. And especially if you have any type of creative venture going on, that does look like it's going to be very successful, and you will probably start to see the results of that as you get towards the end of the second week of May. And if you're looking to get pregnant or start a family or even adopt a little fur baby into your family, I would say that this is a good sign that, you know, all is a go for that. So great omen for just kind of bringing in new things to your life. Thank you so much for watching. Just really quickly, I want to just show you the first book of my fantasy series in case you might be interested in it. This is book 1 of the Forest Spirit series. It is called The Falling, and I write under the pen name T. Damon. So if you are interested in this type of book, if this looks like something that will tickle your fancy, then it is available on Amazon. You can search for it. And if you want to learn more, just watch that introductory video on my channel. Thank you so much for the likes, shares, comments, subscribes. If you enjoyed this and have not subscribed, please subscribe, and so you can see more of my silly videos. I hope you have a wonderful first 2 weeks of May, and I'll see you for the second half of May, Leo. Thank you. Bye.